Welcome to the Amory Board of Education regular meeting. We are calling this one March 2nd, 2023. Just got a short agenda item. First thing we'll do, though, is give the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. We have an action item here, and I'll let Dr. Kerfoot take it away.
Okay, well, we are at snow day number 7. Who's counting? We are counting. 7.
I'm not counting.
The first 3 we did not intend to make up, and we didn't make them up. We just all stayed home and did a snow day. Days 4, 5, and 6 we made up via remote instruction. The timing of day number 7 made it quite difficult. We had Wednesday and Thursday of last week off via snow day. We had approximately 20 staff out on Friday, and we were not able to get the devices that kids need for remote instruction in everyone's hands. So we weren't able to do remote instruction on Monday. I hope everyone will be gracious to remember that this is the very first time we've ever done remote instruction, and we haven't perfected the science of doing it quite yet. We're getting better, but we're not quite yet there.
Well, the
In the-
first time for remote instruction since COVID, right?
Yes.
For a snow day.
Yes. In this version of it, yes. Prior to this year, I mean, without the days of COVID, when we had snow days, we just tacked them on at the end of the year. And I remember going to school one year on June 12th. Some districts are in that boat. We have options here. The options, as you see on the calendar, there are 3 options in my mind on the dates on the calendar. And they all have merits and they all have drawbacks. The first of which is March 16th, which is Thursday of not next week, but the week after. That is an in-service day. It's a no-school day for kids. The drawback, obviously, is that is 14 days away. It's 2 weeks away. Then the next date, that is an option, is April 10th. Please note that April 7th is not an option because that's Good Friday, and that's a contracted day off for all staff. April 10th, the drawback on that is it's Easter weekend, and many folks are already traveling. I've already received about a half dozen requests from staff. What do? I don't plan to be around. I'm going to so forth and so on place, and I've already got plane tickets, if you will. That's a very real concern. And then the option that would be third would be June 2nd, which is the Friday right after the Thursday we were set to be done. The one drawback that I know of on that, but I'm not really sure that it's a huge drawback, is it's state track. We'll lose a couple of parents and a couple of coaches to state track probably, because we'll have some kids that'll be competing. Those are the 3 date options. The only other circle on the page is May 29th, and that's Memorial Day, and we can't do that.
Yeah.
The last option is to add minutes to the school year, or school day. If you did that, if you added 3 minutes to every day starting March 6th, you'd have enough minutes. Because right now we have dipped under our threshold unless we make up this day. We're about 4 hours short of our threshold because we've had 7 days and 2 late starts. So I'll turn it over to you. You guys can let me know what you think.
3 minutes to each day
Yep.
could get us,
Could get us
Where we need to be.
enough minutes, yes.
Which definitely doesn't really make up a day of
No, it's just adding minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
it is, but you're right, Aaron, it is, it's just adding
But
minutes.
if we did June 2nd, that's not gonna make up a day either,
yeah,
so.
right.
Yeah. Well, if we have another snow day, we may end up in June 2nd.
Say if we,
We're hopeful to do remote from this point forward. I'll be better in how I message it. I just looked at my weather app here a second ago. We have a 30% chance of snow on Monday, so I'll send a message tomorrow. Just be ready. Could happen. I don't know. I mean, I didn't think this last Monday would be what it was, but it was an ice rink.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
So you never know.
right.
So are there any other downfalls to June 2nd? I guess my big question is, are teachers required to come in that day to finish up with classes?
Teachers are required to work 4 hours of time at the end of the school year, but what's typically happened is they can pick when they do that. And we haven't really talked about it yet, but I would imagine what they would have an option to do is Wednesday night, Thursday night, or Friday. They would take the 4 hours and wrap their grades up and submit them. If you had Friday, June 2nd as your day, then you would do 4 hours on Thursday, Friday, or Monday. I mean, It really is immaterial. Ultimately, they'll get it done, they'll do their time, and then it'll be wrapped up.
We're not looking at student contact time.
Nope, it's just teachers.
And there's no referendum that's gonna start, I would guess, on June 2nd. It's a Friday, so I would assume that there's no work.
Well, there'll be work beginning here in May, but they're already doing stuff now. They just work around the people that are there.
Right.
I don't think it's a game changer in regards to referendum with staff being there. They're just largely in their classrooms. There aren't any kids. That's the big drawback when you have 1,400 kids or 500 kids in the high school. It's pretty hard to work.
And 3 minutes a day, though, it doesn't seem like a major task to overcome, right?
You could do it in the morning, you could do it at night. The bus patterns will have to be jostled, and that gets difficult, because it has to be all 4 buildings, and then you have to communicate your kid's gonna get picked up. If it's in the morning, they're gonna get picked up earlier, or if it's at night, they're gonna be dropped off later.
Right.
That matters.
Right. But I mean, so if we did the 3, I mean, because we've done this in the
Oh, yeah.
past, that
Yeah.
added minutes to
Yeah.
the day. How did it go when we added the minutes to the day? Was that all right?
It can be done. It's throwaway time in so many ways. If you're looking for my recommendation, and perhaps you are, I would just do June 2nd and be done with it, and do remote the rest of the way, and then call it a day. I mean, I believe we have the ability to do remote better and better each and every time. We'll have more snow days, more school
Hopefully not
years.
this year.
Well,
But we'll
Aaron,
see.
Yeah, we're in
Or
March.
March.
maybe.
I know.
So,
I
with
don't
the June,
know.
the June 2nd, do people already have plans? I mean, I get the whole Monday thing after Easter, but, so do people already have plans for when
No
school
one's
gets out?
no staff members communicated June 2nd that they have plans. No one's communicated that with me, but there could be. And I don't know, well, parents, maybe some parents are doing something right away on June 2nd, I don't know.
Right, well, I mean, you can't plan for every parent and
Right.
every.
My hunch is if you had to rank them from most conflict to least conflict, most conflict would be March 16th, because it's 2 weeks away and it's
Right.
literally spring break time. I bet there's a zillion people that are leaving town. And then I would say April 10th would have the second most, and June 2nd would probably have the third most. It's, of conflicts, June 2nd is probably the best day.
So I've heard from a few people and that kind of, and I asked them if, what their feel was from other staff members around them. And I kind of gathered that March 16th, right, the teachers are already here. Now, could there be students, families planning vacations and going to be out of town? Absolutely. If that's the case, so be it, right? They can be gone and it won't be the end of the world, in my mind, if some students are gone on a spring break.
Not the end of the world, but messaging something 2 weeks out, I think would be a bit
Yeah.
unfair to make parents choose between leaving for their trip and sending their kid to school. Some parents
Well, I
really
would-
value school and they want them to be there each and every day.
Yeah, I can understand that.
If it was further
But-
out, I'd be more comfortable with that, but it's your choice by all means. March 16th, though, it's 2 weeks,
But,
literally 2 weeks.
yeah, right, 2 weeks from today,
Yeah,
yeah, so.
it is.
But I heard, that I think taking away, obviously, the 17th or 20th, which we didn't even talk about, wouldn't be a good idea. Taking away April 10th, the day after Easter, I don't think that would be a good idea either. I think people have plans, and I think you mentioned somebody already has plans.
I've had about a half dozen contacts from staff,
So,
some with plane tickets and some that I just can't, and I get it.
I don't know. I would lean towards either having students here on the 16th of March or adding 3 minutes to the day. If it's only 3 minutes, I know it's not ideal, but,
What's the drawback for you for June 2nd?
I have no,
Or
for me
or
personally,
have you
none.
heard- No, I mean, or have you heard from staff about June 2nd?
No, I wouldn't say, I don't have any drawback. My only thought would be, I guess it sounds like would be state track, which could affect some people. Other
That
than
happens every year.
It's, is there gonna be any educational value on Friday, June 6th, or June 2nd? I would say no, but,
Right, but it might mean that you do a little bit more work at the end of May there, I mean, possibly you might say, oh, well, we've got an extra day to do the fun stuff, so we can tack on, we have another day to kind of get in a little bit more work. you know, I mean, obviously that last week is mostly fun activities and wrapping things up and
Yeah,
cleaning
I
things up
don't-
anyway.
Well, you got finals at middle
Yeah.
school and high school. Those are serious days. I mean, the last day of school at the elementary and intermediate, I'm sure there's not academic work no matter where you put the day.
Right.
I mean, it's a madhouse, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's field trips, a lot of field trips
It's,
and
yes,
So
cleaning
June
up
2nd
places.
would be a student contact day,
yes,
yeah.
if that's what you chose to do.
What about, our distance learning? Can we kind of guarantee that we can cover that
Yes,
from now?
we can cover it the rest of the way. If we have further snow days, we'll be able to virtual elementary and intermediate are fully ready to go. Their materials are easier to get organized than doing remote instruction, because remember, middle and high school are doing a regular school day of some 5-6 hours. So we simply have to have devices in the hands of the middle school kids, because high school can take them to and from. The problem with remote days, unfortunately, with middle, and if you gave the devices to intermediate, is getting them back.
Right.
You send them home and they're not always in the same shape, and getting them back is really hard, because they're a little scattered about it and they don't bring them back, and you're without the device for a while. But we can make it happen, yes.
Yeah, and the teachers were, I mean, I heard from some teachers that they're using them in their classrooms on a daily basis. So then
Yes.
when some kids don't have them, then that
Yes,
causes issues.
makes it hard.
But,
Do we have extras though in the classroom?
We're not in the classrooms, you have extras in IT, but you wouldn't know where you needed them until someone didn't show up with it. I
Right.
mean, it gets,
Gotcha.
logistically, it gets complicated.
Yep.
I mean, I guess, for me, I feel like since we've already had 7 snow days, and if you're actually trying to actually make up some learning, June 2nd is the best day to add on in order to get more learning in. But if we're just simply trying to make up the minutes and just be able to say we have, the sufficient amount of time in, and we don't care about making up the last learning, then just tack on the minutes and
Again, my recommendation
but-
would be June 2nd, which is what we've done for years and years and years, and promote it the rest of the way wherever we have a snow day, because we could have more.
Yep, yep.
And I mean, that's the announcement that went out, so that's what people are expecting at this point.
It is.
So I think,
And I'll send another message, whatever you decide here this evening, I would send another message tomorrow, bright arrow and so forth, all of that, so everyone knows what to expect.
Well, with as many as we have, they're probably glad that it's only one day to add.
Well, I've got a phone call with a neighboring district tomorrow where they're wondering what our remote plan looks like, as they have 5 or 6 to make up, and their last day of school already is June 2nd.
So they're gonna be
So
pushing.
they're on June 9th or June 12th already,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're not done and we're not done, so they could be going to school on the 4th of July with the way they're going. Maybe not
We'll
that,
still
but
have snow.
but we're getting close. Yeah, we may.
We'll still have snow on the ground. July 4th, yeah.
I actually bumped into something today that I didn't even think
Old
of.
snow or new snow? Could be.
Old snow. It's still melting.
I bumped into something today, I had no idea. I was putting together the calendar for our next administrative team meeting, like upcoming events. Track starts on Monday.
yeah.
Track.
And
Snowshoe
and
track.
soccer starts the week after that.
Yeah,
How?
Well, I'm sure baseball practice is going too,
A
right?
lot of fly balls in the
Softball
parking
is
lot,
like
ground
the
balls in the
next
gym,
week.
and
Yeah.
running up and down the thoroughfare,
Yeah,
in and
they all
around the
start
ice.
up very soon.
Okay.
The
We're
gym
gonna
space,
play,
gym
but have
space, gym space is gonna be a premium for
I
the
don't
next
know.
month.
So you would need to do a motion with whatever you decide to do, because this is a calendar that's approved by all of you.
Well, I'll make a motion that we extend the school year until June 2nd to make up that day.
okay, motion to made by Aaron, is there a second? I'll second it. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, no? There we go.
Okay,
We're gonna make her one more day.
that's all I
At least
got.
it isn't like a Monday.
Yeah,
That's helpful.
yeah, it is nice that we had Thursday and we can move it to just
Yes.
Friday.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay, motion to adjourn. That's it.
So moved.
Aaron, second.
Second.
Dale, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed. We're closed.